Women chase Professor Ransford Gyampo. There's a gentleman by name KKD. Kwesi Dakwa. In his heydays, he was called the finest. He cut his teeth playing for GBC radio. And he was on top of his game. He could rap in the days of rap music, American style. He could rap. He was a fashionista. The youth loved him. And almost every concert in Ghana had him as an MC. He's been MCing Kojo Entry's shows from time immemorial till now, because Kojo Entry can relate to the finest. He has a voice of gold. You could just as well say golden voice. And he is a man who loves tradition. And when he wants to go traditional, he is totally exceptional. And when he wants to go European, only a few European fashionistas could compete with him. He walks with a walking stick now, as you can see. And he has a very big phone, which is like the Dex top phones that we have. And he wheels it wherever he goes. In fact, 2 controversies. Number 1, he has a son who is gay in the UK, where, in fact, he surgeoned, got married, and did a lot of things. Kwesi Dakwa, aka KKD, the finest. His gay son had his face all over the Ghanaian media. And when I interviewed him and asked him about his son, he said, "Black Pastor, I am not gay. My son lives in a country where this lifestyle is accepted. I gave birth to him, but it is not for me to decide his destiny." When he was speaking to me, his eyes were full of tears. I asked him, "Are you proud of him?" He said, "Yes, because he's my son." He had an issue with his wife. They divorced. In his heydays, when he worked with the breweries in Ghana, he could afford to fly to London, have sex for 30 minutes, and fly back to Ghana. From Ghana to London, 1 sexual intercourse, and back. He had the money. His wife didn't want to come and live with him in Ghana, but he loves Ghana. His wife wanted to live in the UK, and he still wanted to keep the bond. So, every weekend, he flew to the UK, had sex, and flew back. What a man. He told me this in an interview, which was broadcast across the world. He's a very, very nice guy. I love him. This guy. KKD, in his heydays, was the toast of all the young ladies. He was one of the youngest at GBC, which had a penchant for keeping the old folk there. KKD, Kwesi Dakwa, the finest. He's a fashionista. I've encountered him a number of times. Now the second controversy. Come here. The second controversy, my brother. He went to a certain joint. I want to keep the name hidden because it's an event that is gone. And over there, he brought a young lady along with him upstairs. A young lady he had met at the show. A young lady who admired what he did and wanted help from him to help her walk the runway, because he himself is a fashion crazy man. So the young lady saw him as a mentor and followed him all the way down. When they met at the event, allegedly, he said, "Come up, I'm going to change And then I'll come and MC the show. Come, let's go. So they went upstairs into his room. And over there, people heard mourning. Whoosh, whoosh, things like that. And after that, the young lady and KKD walked out arm in arm, as captured by the CCTV cameras of the said location. This was tendered in as evidence that they were an item. When the matter came up, KKD was arrested, and it was big news all over Ghana. He apologized to the young lady because she said she was raped. Again, she said she was a virgin, and he took her virginity. He apologized to the lady. And you can see it front page of the Daily Guide. One of the biggest political newspapers in Ghana then. Now the newspaper business is something else. KKD arrested in rape scandal. I remember when I interviewed KSM, a colleague of this man. And what happened? He told me, Blakk Rasta, I cannot do what he allegedly did. I don't have the energy for any such sexual journey. And many people thought it was funny. But that was the story. Ghana Web also published it. And you saw the headline a few seconds ago. Bring back the headline. My brother, my sister, KKD. Picked up. KKD rape case adjourned again to January 13. It was adjourned. And the lady just decided that, you know what? I'm not interested in the case anymore. And KKD became free. It broke the heart of the young lady's family. KKD wrote a very beautiful apology to the young lady. This is KKD. When I interviewed him, I asked him, have you met the lady again? He said, no. We have not even spoken. Even. My brother, my sister, maybe the young lady, the former virgin, did not expect that her virginity would be usurped like that. KKD did not deny that they had sex. He said they did, but it was consensual. My brother, my sister. But the lady still maintained that she was raped. Amake Abebrese is an actress. She acted in some of Ghana's #1 movies. She's a veteran. She lives in the UK. Sometimes she goes to America and vice versa. Once in a while we see her in Ghana. Amake Abebrese. She doesn't seem to agree with KKD because KKD just got an appointment. 14th November 2025, KKD appointed Ghana's special envoy to the Caribbean. Caribbean is a whole large place. From Jamaica all the way down to Trinidad and Tobago and all those wonderful places. This is the special envoy from Ghana to those areas. And what did Amake Abebrese say when she saw this appointment? There is no serious country that will appoint men who have a documented history and allegations of sexual assault, sexual harassment against females to high governmental positions. It sends the message that men can abuse females and be rewarded. Do better, Ghana. That's what Ama K. Abrebese said. And it was captured by so many media houses, including Ghana Web. My brother, my sister, KKD said he did it, but it was consensual. In 2019, thereabout, if my memory serves me right, there was a BBC investigation that went all the way to some of the universities in Ghana and Nigeria. It was titled Sex for Grades. That's it. It was a fact-finding documentary to catch sex predators of students, female students, maybe even male students. And it went to the University of Ghana. It caught 2 people on tape. Who were the 2 people? Professor Ransford Gyampo, as you can see here. Then also another gentleman, Butoko. He was also caught on tape. Now bring back the sex for grades and let's see what BBC really said and what happened. A fact-finding, bring it back please. A fact-finding committee set up to investigate 2 University of Ghana lecturers, Professor Ransford Gyampo and Dr. Paul Butako. Following a BBC documentary titled Sex for Grades, has found prima facie evidence of breaches of the university's code of conduct and statutes as amended, and has recommended that the matter be brought before the university's disciplinary committee. But what really happened? My brother, my sister, the BBC also reported it. University of Ghana lecturers suspended after sex for grades. And these are the 2. And these 2 actually were caught on camera just like this. A young lady posed as a student of the university came and met with Ransford Gyampo, and things happened. What happened? Professor Gyampo sexually assaulted me and nearly destroyed my education when I refused. That's another allegation. A former NDC parliamentary aspirant joined several students sexually harassed by Professor Gyampo at the University of Ghana to speak out. But this is from Ghana Today, and we cannot verify this independently. What we can verify is the BBC report. Bring back the BBC report. My brother, my sister, this was the 18th of February 2020. The documentary was done in 2019, and this happened in 2020. Run the story. And the story is quite serious. It says 2 Ghanaian university lecturers have been suspended without pay after a BBC investigation reported they had sexually harassed undercover reporters posing as students. Now, the University of Ghana suspended Ransford Gyampo for 6 months and Paul Butako for 4 months. Both denied the allegations made last year in the BBC Africa Eye Sex for Grades documentary. A Nigerian lecturer was also suspended after it was broadcast in October. 4 academics were secretly filmed as part of a year-long investigation from 2019, I told you. BBC journalists posed as prospective students to expose sexual harassment and misconduct at both the University of Ghana and the University of Lagos. And it says, warning, this content contains graphic sexual references. There was a video there for everyone to see. But in scene 1, Dr. Butako is filmed asking an undercover journalist if he could become her side guy hiding that a side will see how best to contribute to your career. Professor Gyampo tells another undercover reporter that he will marry her. He then asks her what school she went to. After she responds, he says, there is a rumor that the students of that school like pennies. Bura. In the aftermath of the film, which sparked widespread social media outrage in Ghana and Nigeria, the University of Ghana lecturers were suspended on full salary pending an internal investigation. On Monday, the university's disciplinary committee said it had ruled that Professor Gyampo and Dr. Butako had breached the university's code of conduct rules. The lecturers would undergo training about the university's sexual harassment and misconduct policy and would resume work only after a positive assessment. Their statement said the pair would also continue to undergo annual assessments for the next 5 years, the committee added. The reaction to the lecturers' suspension has been mixed, reports the BBC's Thomas Nadi from the capital, Accra. Dash it away. Some believe that the punishment was lenient. Some believe that it should have been harsh. This is Professor Gyampo. A few days ago, he was caught in an altercation, even though he played the gentlemanly role, when one Dr. Domfe, during a program on TV, decided to go vitriol, and he called him Professor Odinkwala. In other words, a pedophile. I apologize for calling me Professor Odinkwala. Professor Gyampo to his UG colleague, and they are both lecturers of the same university, as reported here by Ghana Today. In fact, he's asking his colleague to apologize, and it's public knowledge now. This can be, confirmed and verified. My brother, my sister, is he going to apologize? Would he not be apologizing? Dr. Domfe said the tape that was aired to us was edited. Professor Gyampo actually threw a punch at him and he ducked. It angered him and he called him Professor Odinkwala. It looks like this BBC documentary is going to continually be an albatross around the neck of Professor Gyampo. Professor Gyampo told me in an interview on radio that it was his political opponents who set him up. In fact, he was going to be a running mate to a certain political candidate, maybe Mahama. Professor Gyampo is also quoted as saying there was no student, no sex. It was a frame up because I was chosen as running mate for presidential candidate, and this actually was said on my show. YFM should have at least given us a bit of credit. My brother, my sister, there was no student. But does it really matter? This person posed as a student. You didn't know that that was not a student. For you, she was a student. That's just my mind. My brother, my sister, Professor Gyampo was gentlemanly, at least according to the video we saw and what he said on TV that day. But again, it looks like the 5 years of assessing him, whether he's sexually right to teach in the university or not, is still an albatross around his neck. A female group in the university supposedly has written a long letter to all the sponsors of the university to stop sponsoring the university until Professor Gyampo is removed from his position. Female UG students, alumni. petition for the immediate suspension of funding to the University of Ghana. Go to the last page. Now, it's a very lengthy one, about 4 pages. And it says it's signed. The Executive Council, girl power, but no name. We cannot authenticate this, but it's in circulation. I called the university to find out if there's any group like this. But the university says it's not one of those authenticated by the university, even if it is there. Female University of Ghana students alumni. Say girl power. Is it a private group? Even if it is, it's not recognized by the university. My brother, my sister, Professor Gyampo, it looks like some women are rising against him. The president, John Dramani Mahama, said that the first man to bring him any scandal, woe betides him. Could this be that scandal? How is Professor Gyampo going to deal with this? He himself has said his distractors will never succeed. Wherever it is, we are following up on the story, and wherever it goes, we shall go there and bring you nothing but the truth. What do you think? Do you think Professor Gyampo should have been punished more than the 6 months that he went on suspension and he had to go for a certain training to teach him how to close his zip, to teach him how to stay away from sexual harassment? What exactly was the training about? How effective was it? Will people stop referring to him, the good old professor, born on the 31st of March in 1977? Professor Odinkwala. Will they stop? I'm sure every time he hears this, it breaks his heart. His wife will be broken anytime she hears this. His children, I'm sure a few people will see them in school and say, "Mo papa, Professor Odinkwala." It's heartbreaking, especially some of us who have children and they go to school. We haven't done some of these things, but our children are still attacked in one way or the other. Your father's beard like brush. Your father's hair like Sasabon Sam. But we have developed a thick skin. How thick is the skin of the good old professor, Professor Gyampo? Is the black pot, aka Kukushonemo. And here we speak truth to power. Dash!